welcome to another episode of the Blackout Tips Podcast. I'm your host, Rod, joined as always by my co-host,
Karen.
And we're live on a Saturday morning, ready to do some feedback. Find us everywhere you get podcasts. Search the Blackout Tips. Leave us 5-star reviews on Apple Podcasts. We like to read them on episodes like today.
We do.
Our feedback episode. That's what today is. It's where we're going to get into all the commentary that you left for us last week. You guys left feedback in the comments on our website, on YouTube. You voted in polls. You left voicemails. You sent us emails. We're going to get to all of it today. The official weapon of the show is the folding chair. The correct answer, yes. And the unofficial sport,
bullet ball.
A bullet ball, extreme.
Thank you, baby, for keeping my streak alive.
And of course, you can go to our website and give us money. You can go to the blackouttips.com. Look on the right hand side. There's a donation thing where you can just support the show monetarily through PayPal. One time, recurrent, it doesn't matter to us. Any denomination, you get a shout out because we just want to show love like that. So that's what we're about to do. And we give you the shout out and we play a little ditty for you. Let the church say amen. Everybody lock the doors. Nobody's leaving until we get $5 from everybody.
We're not doing that. Not in my sanctuary.
May I have your attention? You are now listening to Charlotte's own Rod and Karen. We welcome the good folks who tithe to the Black Guy Who Tips.
All right, let's go. New money, new honeys. Christoph R, recurring donator. Thank you. Dostra J. Preston F, aka Teen Dro from the Slang of Ages podcast. Celeste VB. We got a one-time donation. We normally don't say the amounts, but I do a couple times a year for this guy. It's our boy Sting, and he says, Karen, dearest of all my friends, happy birthday. How much do you think the donation was?
46.
It was 46, Karen.
Yay! Thank you. You know what? I've realized, y'all, I know a lot of people don't like to tell their age, but I feel like a little kid. Somebody asks me my age, I tell them, you know how your babies is like growing up. You be like, how old is you? And they lie sometimes and get you caught in a lie where you be trying to get them to eat for free. They be like, I'm 5. You be like, shit. I be like, I'm 46. And everybody be like, you just telling your age? Yeah, bitch, because it's a fact.
Adam S. Mariano. Jason F. Tyrone M. Call him. Dorothea S. Joe H. Michael Irving, the playmaker. Waste Bees by Sura. That's everybody for this week. Thank you for putting in on this. We appreciate y'all. Play me out, choir, and lock the doors.
Y'all better open them doors.
We not letting nobody out the live chat room until we get.
Nope.
I need $20 from everybody in the live chat. We got 14 people in here. 2 of them is me and Karen. So 12 people. I need the money. Okay, hit me on my Venmo.
I am against this, child.
All right. Well, that's why you're not the leader of the church.
I'm the co-pastor, and I say no.
You fired.
You can't fire a co-pastor.
Get your broke ass out my church. This is about prosperity. Okay, we're trying to bring the people the money, and I need it. I need to buy a new jet. The cost of the Switch 2 is going up, and I need it.
Yes, it is. Now, I ain't gonna lie.
I need these fools to start donating if they want to see
Switch gonna be $750.
We got 5-star reviews on Apple Podcasts. We got 2 new ones. The first one is from, it says Adam113 and borrowed wife's phone as the title.
Woohoo!
And the description, the reason I'm saying it says Adam113 is the description reveals that it's actually from Brian K, who says, I love you podcast and your podcast and content so much I had to give it 5 stars twice. Brian K. Thank you, Brian. Thank you for stealing your wife's iPhone.
Yep, we don't care. Get on them kids' accounts, log in, make them give us 5 stars. I don't care if they listen or not.
G Benton says 5-star podcast, 5 stars. Rod and Karen, thanks for all the great content. Happy birthday, Karen. Enjoy your day.
Thank
5
you.
rose emojis and also 5-star emojis.
Yay!
And that's all we asked for, guys. It was that simple. Thank you. Y'all made us happy this week. We
Y'all
appreciate
did.
We got podcast episodes to discuss, of course.
We do.
Episode 3070 meets expectations was our listener feedback episode. We got 11 comments.
Y'all had some. Were they all from women?
I think we broke the streak. I saw one dude wrote in, and of course he wrote a very long-winded post that felt that he was actually overconfident and not qualified to leave a comment. But it is what it is, guys. The patriarchy is real.
Women are short. I don't like it.
Obvious says, about trans issues, I'm always sad when they are used in a political context almost exclusively by conservatives, because in real life it hardly ever is a problem for anyone. I'm a woman of the world. I come around. Absolutely never was I in a situation where a trans person where I needed a political intervention. Also, when parents have a kid that shows signs of being trans, politics isn't what's needed. They need some medical specialists to talk to them about it, and other parents in the same situation. The decision what to do, if starting with some medication is the right thing to do, is individual and hard anyway without a heated political climate. And then for some reason the website decides on its own what comments go into moderation. I don't choose. So for some reason put her comment in moderation. Now I typically approve all the comments unless they're like complete spam.
Right.
But she left another comment that says, now my last post waits for moderation. Do you know why, Rod? Is it the topic? I have no idea why. Yeah, so it just does it sometimes.
Random.
Yeah. What I will say is I agree with you. I think that so much of the trans stuff is just about boogeyman scaring people and fear of somebody being different and fear of your child growing up to be different or your child being exposed to something outside of your, whatever your mindset is, whether it be your religion, your political leanings, bigotry, whatever it is, or just the fear of having to explain something to them, whatever the fuck. All I know is I just reiterate every time that these comments come up, these topics come up on our show, these parents and these children are not making these decisions on a whim.
Right.
All of these decisions are extremely difficult and regimented, and there's many steps.
It's a process.
No matter what kind of state you're in, there's many steps. The sad fact is, a lot of people just don't care about the truth. We have a very fucking dumb country.
They do not care about the truth.
We have a very dumb country, and we have very dumb people that vote in it. And whether they're just lazy or stupid, I don't know, for each individual. But collectively, they are lazy and stupid. So to me, it is disqualifying for a candidate like Donald Trump to get on a stage and lie and say people's kids are going to school as one gender and then coming home as another gender. To me, that's a disqualifying lie. I would never vote for a person that said that. Not because I'm offended, but because it's such a lie. Even if you had a what some would term a reasonable concerns about trans children and stuff like that, and I admit there can be some reasonable concerns. I'm sure there are. I mean, parents of trans children that love their children, I'm sure, have concerns. Everyone has concerns. Concerns is what you would hope people would work on that come from a genuine place, and then we can figure out things together. But they don't. But that's not what that party is offering us. They're not offering us, these are some genuine concerns, and they're just saying lies, and people eat them up because of the bigotry, and they go, oh yeah, that's what's happening. Or even if it's not what's happening, that's what I'm going to operate on. And that's the fear. That's the sad part, because they do it with everything. Like, trans kids is just one branch of that, but they do it with so many things. They're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats, they don't have to operate in truth, and we're worse off for it.
Agreed.
Rona Raphael says the presidents of, I think this is Mauritius, would like to have a word with Rod for the massive butchering of his country's name. Now, how the fuck would I know the right? You just typed it again. I don't know. You could have typed, you know what you could have taken the time to do? You could have taken the time to be like, here is the pronunciation, Rod. You send me links to every fucking thing else. You could have done that.
Now, if it was a video about some elephants, we would have got the whole 4-hour video.
But that's why I don't trust you middle name motherfuckers, because it's shit like this.
Mauritius.
Mauritius. Thank you. All right. Appreciate you, AI
Appreciate
Google.
you, AI white lady.
The president of Mauritius would like to have a word Rod for the massive butchering of the country's name. As a kind, loving, intergalactic, humble security consultant that I am, I offer His Excellency 3 months of free security protection from my orcas. You good, Rod? Have a great week. Sean says, after freshly coming off the morning of the great day joke, demanding a great week is kind of cold, even for you, Rona Raphael. He says, correction, sir. I wished my brother Rod and Karen a great week, not demanded it. No, you said have a great week. That's a demand.
That's a demand?
That's how that works. It's like saying have a slice of pie as opposed to do you want a slice of pie? Would you like a slice of pie? A humble Ronin never demands 999 in this cold world spring too. Nah, two on the hat and the splendid top of the hat and a splendid week to you, Sean. Ramsey D. Jenkins says, I'm chuckling at my desk because Roderick called me out for mentioning Vanessa K, Pergo, Lizzie, Trump. I love you both. Yeah, you was wilding with that. Nobody cares. You know when you don't care, you always just leave us 5 stars for this episode. You cared.
And it's okay to care.
I don't know what that woman did or what Tiger did, but it got under your skin a little bit.
Everybody goes through that. I go through it too.
Sean says, I want to apologize if it seemed like I was suggesting equivalent levels of danger from ICE. I was not. I was just noting that nobody is safe. Yeah, I feel you. I think, in the context of what was being said, I was basically saying, like, I doubt that Appia isn't very much danger percentage-wise. But, yeah, I think we all are on the same page of no one feels like anyone is safe. Agreed. I think that's part of the point.
Yep, no matter who you are.
Yeah, and I obviously we would never say some shit like that on our airways of like, no, you safe. It's like, you're more than likely you'll be okay. You're probably going to be okay. That's kind of the sad thing about authoritarianism and fascism and these type of demagogues being in charge, or these people being in charge, is that a big part of this is about the feeling of fear. Even if percentage wise, I feel as a black person that, I know percentage wise as a black person getting stopped by the police, there's a much, 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 much higher percentage that I'll actually be okay. Like, just in life. Like, if every time police interacted with a black person, we got killed, the shit would, there'd be literally millions of dead black people dead every day.
Yes, it would be.
But but the fear is not necessarily attached to, in this interaction, every single time I will be dead. No, the fear is attached to, I don't know which interaction it could be, and it doesn't necessarily seem to be anything predicated upon what I do. And I think that is definitely the fear that the people in charge of the United States right now would like to be relayed out into the world is, hey, bring your German ass here and we might fuck you up. I don't know. It's like, well, I did all my paperwork. I'm a white lady. I'm here for business. It don't matter. Business, pleasure, whatever the fuck. You just need to not feel safe. And it'll probably keep people from coming here in the way that it's keeping Appia from coming back to America. She's like, I'm good. I don't want to come back. I don't blame her at all, but that is also the point of what they're doing is, if you can name all 3 of the white people that got picked up, then it's really not a lot of white people, but white people ain't safe.
No, they not.
There have already been citizens illegally detained by ICE and possibly deported. It is impossible to know because they are preventing due process, and only large-scale data we have is released by the criminal organization known as ICE, which is about as reliable as using a sieve as a condom. They continue to use illegal and unethical racial profiling methods for most of their abductions, and those officers who used said methods should be thrown under the jail. Yeah, I think the other thing I would add too is it is interesting because we haven't seen any of these commenters on our YouTube page since, and maybe they only watch our shorts, which would make sense because I haven't submitted a short that's really about this yet. But
right,
all those people are gone. All those people who said all this shit about he ain't deporting nobody that's not here illegally and all that, they're gone. Where are your comments? And more importantly, where's your fucking morals and your outrage? Why aren't you like, well, you know what? I did support him enforcing the law, but now that I see he is going above and beyond, revoking people's visas just because they're protesting, lying and saying people are tied to Hamas when they aren't, deporting fathers of families who aren't part of a gang, and then mocking the judge that rules that you need to get this person back here because you should not have deported them illegally.
Right.
Where's your outrage, guys? Where's your fairness? Where's your balance? Nah, cause I could tell from your comments you was on that biggest shit too. It wasn't about deportation for you. It was about brown people. It was about people you consider not American. That's what it was about. The next comment is from Hustle No Flow, and honest to God, this shit is way too fucking long. Like, it is a massive thing about the self-evaluation topic. Oh, what the fuck? It's a chapter.
He wrote us a book.
I'm not reading this.
Did they have paragraphs?
It
got a forward.
It is paragraphs, but
it's got appendix.
It's long as shit, dog. Come on, man. The topic's now 3 weeks old.
Got references.
All right. He said, I'm a man joining the evaluation topic, and look at all this. Y'all can see it on the screen. Come on, man.
Had a lot to say.
I feel like this is just more proof of what I'm saying.
Right.
The men ain't the ones that got the problem. I hate the self-evaluation. Let me give you 17 paragraphs wide. What? No. Just mansplaining to us what all the women already done explained to us about not liking it.
That's hilarious.
Oh, man. Anyway. But if you want to hear his point made more succinctly, listen to the women who wrote in last week who said this shit in a paragraph or two. It's the exact same thing. You can go read it on the website if you want to, guys. It's the exact same thing. It's like even the percentages of like the bell curve and everything. The women explained this last week. So short. It's just hilarious that a man took so long to explain this.
Just like a typical man. Yeah. That's hilarious.
No offense, Hustle No Flow, but God, even you got to go back and look at this comment like, yo, I was tripping. And
we're just picking at you, baby.
No, I'm serious. I'm dead serious. It's funny,
it's funny
but it is what happened. You wrote a long ass thing when the women all wrote short things. It's funny.
And I've been I know it might sound wild, but I've been thinking about this, about, why was I feeling like this? And I really came to an epiphany. I've realized that I had some things happen in the past because I'm a very hard worker and I'm a very dedicated person to whatever I put my calls and stuff in. And I've had some things that happened in my past where I worked hard and dedicated myself to these things, and it did not end well, and I ended up being very hurt from the process. And sitting back and thinking, I made myself a promise that if my name was not on the side of the building, you were never getting 100%. So I really do think that's why I feel certain ways about jobs and things like that. Because I feel like, what is the point of giving 110, 125% to something I don't own?
Yeah, and that's your prerogative, and I don't blame you. Companies constantly let employees down that that do feel like I'm giving 100%, and then it's just like, yeah, not really.
Right. When you can turn around and be like, we don't give a fuck you dedicate 25 years. We don't give a fuck you miss all your, grandkids' birthdays. We don't give a fuck about any of that.
Yeah. And, especially like I get people that are in competitive fields, or they have a type of personality where it's like, I just want to get to the highest pay grade and the highest position I can get. That's one mentality, and I don't blame them. Many times those people, will prosper. Many times those people will also not be rewarded. Most of those people will also give you a litany of shit that they feel like their jobs don't appreciate from them. So, it's a job at the end of the day. So I get it. All right. Anzi Davis says, finally coming down from the euphoria of the live show to reach out and just say thank you for the amazing show. I love fangirling out with the crowd. I can't wait for the next one in person or virtual. I'll be there. Okay, back to my self-evaluation for the month with my exceeds expectations reflection.
So everybody putting exceeding on there. I think I'll be bold next one. Next one they give us, I'm going to really sit down and really think about it, because you really made me think that, yes, this is one of the few times that I will actually advocate for myself. I wouldn't go into nobody's office. This is nothing that I would demand on my own. So next time we do have evaluation, I will view it very, very differently. Like talking to you has kind of made me shift how I process that a little bit.
Yeah, I think especially for those of y'all who are at jobs where you don't feel appreciated or you don't feel that your work is going acknowledged, I think I would definitely use the evaluation as a non-confrontational way to put that into the mix. Cause it's not, like I said, I could see if y'all were the type to be like, cause I'll walk up in that office and be like, I need a raise, but y'all ain't. So this is the way this is better than what you were gonna do, which is sit at your desk and grumble, and feel unappreciated and never say, and then actually give them footing years later to be like, we never gave you a raise because you never fucking even said, like, you never even seemed like you wanted to get a raise. You never seemed like you thought you were undercompensated. Right. You never seemed like you thought you deserved better. You never seemed like you thought you were doing more work than we told you to do. Mm-hmm. So why the fuck, like, we have 5 years of you just putting meets expectations, so that's what the fuck we've been paying you like. EVE says, just wanted to say I've been loving the banter segments lately. I've always liked them, but in this past week, it has had me cackling. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it, EVE.
Thank you.
You know, I feel like all segments, they get better with time as we continue to do them.
Yes, and particularly with me becoming more comfortable and actually understanding the concept of it.
And then on YouTube, we got comments for Meets Expectations. Got 3 comments. Parish King says, love your show. Look forward to your show. Thank you. Z-Mom Harp says, get them, Rod. They love gaslighting about so-called trans issues. They do. Mm-hmm. Dutchy says, co-host, say that again is awesome. Would like to hear her more. Yeah, Karen.
Yay!
More, please. That ain't no problem.
That ain't no problem. I always got something to say.
Yeah. All right. And then a big part of it too is also that I'm reading all of y'all's feedback and shit. So leaving a feedback on the comment episode, leaving a comment on the feedback episode and being like, I want to hear Karen more. That's probably the worst episode to leave, because I'm the one reading your comment, and then you gotta depend on her to like talk. I don't force her to talk. So
no, he does not.
All right, let's get to a beat so we can play, so we can get paid later on. Let's see. How about this one?
Another Psycho Music remix.
Next episode is 3071, Return of the Smack. Rona Raphael says, nobody can tell me otherwise that it wasn't Drake and his lawyers filing all the complaints to the FCC. List any complaint, I guarantee you that it can
the whole law firm, they told them, everybody, all 150 of y'all file a report.
List any complaint, and I guarantee you that it can be read in Drake's voice. By the way, do you have a kid trying to drive your car into the ocean? Worry not. OSS got you covered. Let an orca handle that kid for 5 minutes. A kid reborn shall be returned back to you. First, sign our NDA.
Oh,
no. But, yeah, I believe that scam. I think Ronan Raphael would recognize a scam. And Drake calling the FCC all them times makes a lot of sense now.
They all come from the same number, same account.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Same internet address.
Check the callback number. The area codes is in Canada.
All the same.
Appia says, where did we hear last about Mark Morrison on this very program? You asked a philosophical question where the Mac was returning from. I thought a lot about it. Right. Where was he returning? Apparently jail. We did solve that.
Yes, we did.
But yeah, I mean, where we heard about it, not here. You know what I mean? Like, I think of random shit all the time when I'm high. That doesn't got nothing to do with what's really the world's talking
What's really
about.
happening?
I ain't heard about Mark in a minute. Big Banks says, Nicole's our grandmothers now. What happened to Bertha, Dorothea, Geraldine? We the new adults. Yep. Shoe Booty says, Karen, I'd start getting sick right around when you did last week. I couldn't tell if it was allergies or a mix or whatever is going around lately, but I leaned into the remedies from growing up, and I'm glad to report that all is well now. Matzo ball soup, Sunny D, lots of tea, and early bedtimes.
Yeah, I feel a whole lot better than I did before. It was a process. I took all the, I think it was like 10 days of Claritin. I took all the Claritin and things like that. I just took it every day till it ran out. And I really do think that it probably had a lot to do with the pollen. I guess the pollen and stuff probably has gone down now. But, man, then it was kind of at its height because everybody's car is just yellow.
Oh, nah, pollen's been crazy. You know, I've been going on walks and going outside and, like, I had to go to the car wash almost once or twice. Like every couple of days, I'm going to the car wash to get the pollen off the car. So yeah, the pollen really took off the last week or two. So it could have just been an allergy thing because if it was the cold, I didn't catch it, and I'm sleeping right next to you in the bed.
And and the thing is, it wasn't it wasn't
coughing, it wasn't sneezing.
It was just blowing my nose.
Yeah, you just stuffed up, but you never know. And I did give you lots of soups and all that stuff. And
yeah,
early
the soups
bedtimes.
was good. Yeah, I was going to bed early.
Ramsey D. Okay, I'm sorry.
No, I said, yeah, I was going to bed early just from being tired.
Ramsey D. Jenkins says Monique is exhausting in her quest to bash both Tyler and Oprah. Thanks for all that you do. Ramsey Simma says Karen riffing during Rod's break was too funny. Let me Google black coons. Might be the funniest phrase ever. I was getting dressed and fell on my bed. I want that sound as a sound effect. Karen is amazing. Agreed.
I couldn't think of the list. I was like, I know it's a list somewhere.
That's what I had to do when I was coming up with my countdown. Some days I would Google black coons and be like, is there anything that I'm missing?
Right, that I can't think of.
It's crazy because it's not really a lot of lists out there for black coons, which I mean, I guess I'm thankful for. It shouldn't really be a lot of lists.
Right.
You would hope that, my list came up first, honestly. Trey says Monique is starting to give. Sorry, this phrase is funny, even though I know he's being like, it's funny, but anyway. Monique is starting to give mental illness realness with more of this Tyler Perry hate, and it is incredibly weird. Why would you, number one, do this when he is simply speaking at someone else's eulogy? Rest in peace, Angie Stone. Number two, give him hell when he was already apologized to you, as far as I know, and not spoke on this since apologizing. It don't matter, man. I remember when they released that recording, and the internet loves mess, and a lot of people were, and they hate, a lot of the internet hates Tyler Perry, black internet anyway. But I remember when that recording came out, and sans the internet, meaning not me wanting to talk about it, not me reading someone else's take, just I went to go listen to the recording for myself, uninterrupted. And I came away and thought, this lady has tried to set him up with this recording this phone call, and it's not damning in any way. If anything, he came off to me looking like a person who's dealing with somebody who is essentially almost harassing them at this point, where he's like, I've moved on. I don't think what I did was wrong, but I'm apologizing to you so that you can move on.
Right.
And if we were in a court of law, I feel like I can defend my actions to the letter. But I see it's hurting and holding you back.
Right. That's the thing. He sees the hurt. So
can you just not, and the fact that she knew it was being recorded and was still taking shots at him, to me, that says something
more about her.
That says something, because now it's content. Because you're going to put it out. That's why you're recording it. What's the other point of having a recording? It's so you could be like, and see, guys, and he wasn't really biting, and I was like, yeah, I'm out of here. Like, whatever's happening is very personal and between like you and your husband and all this other stuff. And I think it really was illuminated when her own son had issues and the way that her and Sydney dismissed his issues.
Yes, they did.
And I said, oh, okay. So when y'all have a grudge, everybody got to get on their knees
and stop what they doing.
But when your son has a grudge, he just need to shut the fuck up and go away.
Right. He's just a lunatic.
Okay. I've said it all before. I said it again. Sydney got her fucked up. Why would you rile your significant other up like this and then send them out to the public social media sphere and basically tell her talk your shit? As her manager, that seemed mad, unprofessional, and low key. Seems like he might be trying to sabotage her career because the stuff he encourages her to go out there and say makes absolutely no sense. That's one way to look at it, and you might be right. But the other thing I would think is maybe she got a manager that she can run. Like maybe that's why her man is her manager, is that he gonna always let her keep that battery in her back, and whether it's a decision that's bad or good for her career,
right,
he's gonna back it because it's her decision.
Yes,
and that might be more important to her than a manager or a PR team or somebody that would be like, no, you can't do that. This is gonna harm you. She might have her priorities of, no, I want my management team to be like, you can do this thing. Talk shit about the studio. Talk shit about Tyler Perry. Talk shit about Oprah. Talk shit about Lee Daniels. It doesn't matter. Just keep going. And maybe that's what Sydney does for her.
Yeah, you never know.
Sydney need to just be her husband, not her husband manager. Also, just feels like Monique is just one of those, maybe it's just you type people too. Yeah, that's what I'm more. I don't know how many years we have to do this before. It's like, maybe it's just her, man. Whatever this combination of her and him is it just seems like we read way more about this shit than we read about her career.
Agreed.
And it is what it is at this point. Thanks again, Rod and Karen Trey. EVE says, if Tyler Perry has no haters, then Monique is dead. At this point, she's starting to look kind of unhinged. Starting to. He could apologize, and I believe he has tried, but I don't think anything will ever make it right with her. Some people just love being victims. I recently learned that Mark Morrison of Return to Mac fame is British, so when he assaulted that guy, he was looking for all the smoke, bruv. He was. Do you want the smoke, bruv? All right, we got comments on the YouTube as well.
Okay.
Do you want the smoke, bruv?
Let's see. Return to the Smack. We got 6 comments. Let's see. Will 2K says, love your show. The carafe of Dippin' Dots would have had me confused as well. When the Mumbler story, which is the Banter Hall of Fame, you guys started this show on 100. Will, thanks, Will.
Thank you. I was confused.
Bejinxful says, wait, so the anti-sword law is called Ronin's law? Unfortunate irony there. I hope is passed and is effective. Yeah, Ronin's law. Now, it's not spelled the same as like a Japanese Ronin.
Okay.
But
I like the Ninja Turtle.
Yes, it's not spelled that way, but still sounds similar. Shix B says, I see the analogy about Kanye being the guy on the train, but I think he is actually the other one who actually did the damage and is causing others to consider that the consequences aren't that bad for taking a life. I don't think that the people he attacks thinks that he is harmless. The people who look up to him and see his point and think he is a genius are doing all they can to follow his story and dismiss anyone that thinks it is a sign of illness. He still has a considerable following to get himself right back financially, considering how far off he fell not too long ago. Shix B, I don't know how to tell you this. I cannot disagree with you more. I just don't think I don't think there are a lot of people that see his point. I don't think a lot of people are following along his story and saying he's not mentally ill. I don't think when Academics puts out a fucking interview and Kanye's wearing a Black Klan's robe and ranting and wearing a swastika chain that a bunch of people are like, that's not a mentally ill person. That is a person who just is telling the truth, living his story. I think you have to make that up in order to do this thing of we need to stay on Kanye's neck. I don't care if you stay on Kanye's neck. I'm in the next train is my point. I think he is a crazy man. He is basically a person in a subway car covered in shit who is like mentally unwell and we should all get the fuck out of the car because we can't stop him from being mentally unwell. He's not going to take care of his mental health.
Right.
And he's not responding. You guys are attributing motivations to him, I think, that make sense to us with our brains that are either functioning or regulated with medicines and stuff. Like those of us who are taking care of our mental health, we treat him as if he is. And we're like, well, he's going to see that if we would just do this, he's never going to see. Right. He ran for president. That's how delusional he is off these meds. This is not a rational person. This stuff he's doing with his own kids, where he was going to have his kids in the house with Andrew Tate and his brother, who are reasonably accused of multiple instances of sex trafficking and sexual assault. I'm not going to listen to you and believe like, no, totally reasonable guy and everyone thinks that. No, most of us think he's out of his fucking gourd, and the impetus to like, we must destroy him is really more about just how distasteful and scary and ugly what he's going through is. Mm-hmm. But the reason I don't want to give him that level of power over the culture, which I fundamentally don't believe he has, is that Elon Musk is fucking running the goddamn country doing Nazi salutes. Donald Trump is a white supremacist. They are taken seriously. That's the danger. But it's easier to choke out, quote unquote, online with Kanye than it is to like make our country be a responsible country and say, get these people the fuck out of power. Kanye doesn't have real power.
No, he does not.
Like even here, you didn't name a name when you're like, I bet the people that he attacks, who are the people that Kanye is attacking that we're like, damn man, Kanye fucked them up. All of us are like, that's a crazy person. If he says, if anything, it probably, to me, Kanye joining into anti-Semitism makes anti-Semitism look even more ridiculous. Like it's already ridiculous to me, but when Kanye is like, yeah, it really makes you go, Jesus Christ, there's no point. Whatever point the other anti-Semites were making is definitely not emboldened when this nigga steps over there.
Nope.
So no, I don't think so. And I think, you know, the ADL issuing a statement against Kanye West, but then telling us to, you know, look the other way at Elon Musk's Nazi salute tells you who's the real danger. Mm-hmm. One of these niggas is not that dangerous. Mm-mm. That being said, I don't really like you've never heard us support or act like, oh, he's a G. He made some good points. I don't fuck with him, but I'm also not gonna do our show every day telling you how much I don't fuck with him, because it's fucking obvious. He's a crazy person and we should all just fucking ignore. He's just yelling in the train, waiting for somebody to come in there. So yeah, I stand by my analogy, and I don't think that you shut it down at all. But once again, you don't have to agree, and you know, I get people feeling differently, but that's why I said it on the show. I know what I'm saying is different than most people, because most people get off on the commonality that we carry and the disdain for that man, and it also helps us to feel like we're better people. But honestly, everybody should be better than Kanye West. That's the lowest bar to clear. People being upset about Kanye means nothing to me. Mm-mm. You should be like, that should be the default, is when the shit he's saying right now, there should be zero people telling you how it's not like it's kind of a good point. So yeah, anyway, I feel you though. I think he's just been that offensive to people, and so once you're offended, it has to go up to the next level. But you know, I think I count him the same way I do like Azalea Banks. Like that person says offensive shit, and yeah, it's fucked up, and I don't agree with it, but I don't necessarily know how dangerous that person is, because I don't know anybody that takes them seriously.
Yeah, and also, truth, and this is how me on the outside looking in, truth be told, a lot of people love Kanye, and a lot of people were very hurt watching his downfall. And it took a lot of people a long time to actually admit and be truthful with themselves to what they were seeing, this mental break. Because in their mind, they was like, I love his music. I like him. He gonna get it together. He gonna get it together. He gonna get it together. He gonna get, like they kept saying that. And then when they realized he was not going to get it together, that sadness and pain turn to anger, and that anger is, I'm always gonna be on your ass. I'm not trying to make funny. To me, I think for me, this is why some people are relentless about this, and they will not let it go. They will not admit that they are hurt, and they are disappointed in his actions and how he got here, based off of them watching the entirety of his career, y'all. And it's okay to be sad, and it's okay to be hurt and disappointed, y'all. I do understand that, but at some point in time, it's not him, it's you that gotta let it go, because he is who he is, and he needs to determine if he's gonna take care of his mental health or not. This has absolutely nothing to do with you. The pain that he has caused you need to process that separately.
Yeah, and like I said, I get why it's offensive to people. I just don't know how. I think they have to lie and act like he's more powerful so that they can say, this is why I'm so mad. And I don't think you need to. I think you can just be mad at him and him not be powerful.
Agreed.
Like, I think, and this always comes up, but what happens, my belief, when y'all hear me talk about this, I think a lot of y'all hear me talk about his mental health and how it's a big cause of it. And I'm not saying it is a cause of his bigotry. That's obviously, we don't know where the fuck that comes from. He could just be a bigot. I don't put that past him, but it's definitely a cause of how he carries his bigotry, right? Meaning a healthy mind, even for a bigoted person, knows to say, ugh, I shouldn't say that in public. That's going to cost me a lot of money and time, and it's going to fuck up my life and my career. It's going to make me not popular, and brands are going to stop selling my Yeezys. A bigot with a rational mind goes, no, I didn't mean it like that. But they did mean it like that, right? Look at Elon Musk, double Hitler salute. I didn't mean it like that. Autism. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's a rational mind that's like, this ain't rational. This is a man yelling at the clouds. Yep. And so that's a big part of why I'm like, I will not be treating this the same.
And I can't take anything he does seriously until he takes his mental health seriously.
And the other thing is, most of y'all, when y'all hear mental health, you hear, and it's just the way we have talked about this topic in our society, what y'all hear is a call for sympathy. What y'all hear is a cause for excuse, a blanket, hey, mental health, because that's how people have been using it as currency in our digital environment. People are often using mental health to excuse shit, fucked up behavior, abuse, all this shit. I ain't excusing a motherfucking thing.
You still accountable.
If you're not taking care of your mental health, that is also on you. And at this point, this man has a storied history of not taking care of his mental health. In his more sober moments, when he is medically, on his meds and stuff, he'll be quiet, he'll disappear, whatever. But he must be reckoning with his actions at that time, because he's now, medicated and seeing like the repercussions of what happens when he goes off these meds. He clearly does not repeat this behavior when he's on meds, right? It says a lot that he then still chooses, well, I'm putting out an album, I'm going off my meds. I'm sorry. There's nothing I have for this man other than this is just who he is, this is what he does. And I don't know, 20 years of this, is that when we all go, oh, maybe we should just ignore him? I'm ignoring him. I'm not giving him I'm not treating his comments with any level of true seriousness about a actual commentary on society. I just see that man as an unmedicated bigot, and it is what it is. Rashad says the Cardi B situation reminds me of what Rod said around the holidays about the internet and access. Kind of sad this gets played in the court of public opinion because the public can't help her with this. Yeah, sad. Donatello says, don't let the Texas law fool you. Conservatives are freaks too. Oh, we know. They the freakiest freaks. They shouldn't be outside.
That's what Pornhub tells us at the end of the year.
Jason says, love the banner about LaMelo Ball. They have definitely devalued fun in basketball media. My two teams I enjoy watching the most in my life were Van Exel, Eddie Jones Lakers, and the Steve Francis Coutinho Mobley Rockets. No one had any delusions of them winning the title, but they were fun. Yeah,
right, they were fun.
And I think I was saying this on Twitter because this finally some people started broaching this discussion about how like part of what makes NBA fans such fucking miserable fucks is that so many of them just they fell into the GM culture and And I've seen, journalists and basketball people that do a lot of comments say stuff like one of them, I forget his name, I don't mean to, but he said, well, this is just a logical conclusion of being a fan. You want your team to win, so then you start keeping track of things like salaries and the salary cap and trades and all this stuff. And I don't disagree with him in that it is the logical conclusion of wanting a team to win a championship. That is a logical conclusion. You will eventually start thinking about every little thing, right? The draft, the salary, the this type of deal, this type of trade, this type of exemption. You're gonna think about that. That's a good point. Fanatics, which is what fan stands for. That's what fan is short for. Fanaticism doesn't have to be logical. So when we're talking about what makes something the most fun, I'm not talking about what is the most logical thing. The most logical thing is to wear a condom during sex. What makes sex the most fun is probably not that, which is why we're all existing on Earth in perpetuity.
Ain't that the truth?
Right? There's a level of fun that is missing when you take it to the logical extent. Now you're just a fucking miserable person. And I feel the same way about Marvel movies, the same way about video games. There's a place where there's a happy medium where you're like, oh, I'm playing a fun video game. There's another medium where you're like, I heard the company's stock price. I'm just saying that part is an opposite of fun. And sometimes you play a video game, right? And you just had a fun time for that game. You weren't thinking, where's it going to place in the game of the year discussion? You weren't thinking this needs to make a certain amount of profit. People do that with sports all the time. They have fun. They have a fun team. Look at the Indiana Pacers. That's a fun fucking team. They're jumping. They're dunking. They're running up and down the court. They playing no fucking defense.
Fun to watch.
Very fun. I kill to switch places like for the Hornets to be a fun team like that. But there's another level where let's go to Boston. Man, them Boston Celtics fans look fucking miserable. That shit look like it suck. They don't look like they're having fun. Team don't look like they having fun. Expectations, we need to win a championship, but we ain't shit. The fucking stars, I'm not respected enough. The fucking style of play, everybody hates it. You shoot too many threes. But that's the best way to win a championship is to pay as many people as they're paying, to shoot as many threes as they're shooting, to have the style of basketball they're having, and everybody's fucking miserable all through up and down the NBA. Nobody wants those guys to be the champions of the league, right? The San Antonio Spurs, back when Duncan was, no one liked that shit.
Was boring. So
my point is the balance has been lost. There's a fun to be had in rooting for, because I too finally look at Van Exel and Eddie Jones. Finally look at that Coutinho Mobley, Steve Francis, Yao Ming Rockets. The most recently, what I was thinking? Carmelo Anthony got inducted to the Hall of Fame and everybody's on his dick. And I'm like, that is so funny because Carmelo Anthony was a guy we said can't win a championship with. The second, he wasn't a threat to Jordan's legacy, and the second, he wasn't really a threat to LeBron's legacy or Kobe's legacy or whatever, because rings culture or whatever. Everybody's like, I love this guy. And I'm like, why can't LaMelo Ball be loved like that?
Right.
Why can't some of these other players that we're like, they're just fun. They're not really contenders, but they're just fun guys to watch, fun teams. We lost something with that. And I think it's because we all got old.
Yeah, and also, maybe it's just me, and maybe I still have the kid inside of me whenever it comes to basketball, because I love the NBA. I'm going to tell y'all right now, whenever I watch a team play, I don't know how many millions of dollars a starting five makes. I have no fuck. I'm just keep it real, like shit like that. What you talking about? I was like, oh, that's somebody else's job. When I come to the game and pay season ticket prices and sit my ass down, I'm either entertained or I'm not. And I think for me, because I treat a lot of shit that simple, same thing with video games, movies. When I pick up something in the form of fun, like fun for me, it's somebody else's job to do debits and credits and all that shit. That's not my job. To make a profit and all that shit. My job was, am I entertained or not? So the people and I'm supposed to be entertained, then got into the numbers, and now they worry like the people in the numbers. Because, you know, those are the people that actually worry about shit like that because it's their job to make sure the team's profitable, market the team. Like, that's their job. That's what they get paid to do. I don't get paid to do this shit. I'm fucking paying for the product. I don't get paid to worry myself to death about shit that don't matter. Either I'm entertained or I'm not. And that's kind of how I look at it. But for some people, they get an entertainment out of complaining. They get an entertainment out of I got a collective people, and if the collective people say we got to hate, this is where I get my joy. I had to understand this, particularly when it comes to nerd shit. I had to understand a lot of people like to complain, and they have a collection where they get together and they complain, and that's where they have their fun. I don't have my fun in complaining. To me, that's not enjoyment, and it's not, in my personal opinion, it's not entertainment. Because a lot of times, particularly when it comes to certain things, I kind of seen this with like the Marvel movies. You ask somebody about a Marvel movie, you know, so you know, because the thing is, nobody's perfect. It's hit and miss, whatever, and they'll complain and tell you about everything that's fucking wrong with it. Then when they get to the end, they was like, well, it's 9 out of 10. I was like, bitch, I heard everything you said. The way you complaining, it don't sound like you really like that movie. You know what I'm saying? So in my mind, I was like, oh, it's a disconnect that I'm not getting, because if I enjoy something, you're going to hear the excitement in my voice. You're going to hear the joy in my voice. You're going to hear the love in my voice. But something has happened in the world where it's showing joy and love and excitement and actually saying positive things about something is a negative. It's like, I must critique. You know, and a part of critiquing is consistently tearing it down and not giving it any praise at all. And it has infiltrated all parts of our lives. Not trying funny, and not to get off topic, but even in the politics, people, when it comes to the Democrats, everything they do is fucking wrong. We must critique it. We must tear it down. We must act like the shit don't matter. Even though, yeah, they're doing about 98% of what we asked for them to do, but they ain't do the 2%. So I'm complaining about the fucking 2%, and I don't function like that.
Yeah, I think that really does summarize a lot of it, and I'm not saying those things can't be critiqued or discussed as far as like you know, why this thing didn't work or whatever. But I think a lot of times people just forget shit be fun. I remember when the Hornets won like 40 games and were in the play-in two years in a row, and listening to people bitch about being in the play-in and not winning. And how everybody, you know, the team, you know, fire the coach, change everything. It was like, oh, so even when this thing is, and that was the most fun. That's when the Hornets were called like the league pass favorite. That team was so fun.
Wasn't they fun?
And those people didn't appreciate it or like it that much then. And now you fast forward to where they're at the bottom of the league, basically. And it still kind of the commentary still sounds about the same. It's still like misery was the common thread for all those people. To me, I'm perfectly fine with them being we're in a play-in area team that is dunking and throwing alley-oops and giving fun performances. You know what, dog? Let's sign me up.
I'll be back next year for a season ticket holder because I want to be entertained.
You know, and I know it sounds counterintuitive, but I'd rather do something like that than be one of these people that are like, you know, like when you look at like Lakers fans, and it's like, if we don't win a fucking ring, this year was a waste of LeBron and the Lakers. And it's like, dog, that's a fun team. If y'all lose, it's a fun team.
It's a fun team.
Like that was a fun team they lost to Joker in there when they got like swept or gentlemen swept or whatever. Like, that was still a fun ass team. A lot of people would kill to have a team that made them feel that way.
Yes, they would.
But you know, that's the trappings of when you look at everything like win a ring or bust. Anyway, but yeah, thank you for the comment. He says, also Nick Van Exel was my favorite lefty baller. Shout out to Nick. He was a beast. He's definitely on the top 5 for me, lefty ballers. Trying to think, man, who else will be on my list? Kenny Anderson was nice. I think Glenn Rice lefty-handed?
I don't know.
Let me see.
LaMelo left-handed, ain't he?
No.
Okay.
I know. Let me see. Is Glenn Rice left-handed? No, he's right-handed. Okay. Man, there was somebody else I was thinking about that had a smooth stroke that was left-handed. Now I can't fucking remember his name.
Google left-handed NBA players.
Obama, of course.
Oh yeah, my favorite lefty.
Yeah, James Harden. That's not who I was thinking. I wasn't old enough to see Bill Russell play. Manu Ginobili. That's not who I was thinking of. Mike Conley Jr. Nope. Chris Mullin had stroke, left hand. Van Exel for sure. Zach Randolph. I didn't even realize he was left-handed, but yep. Kenny Anderson's on the list. Yeah, I can't remember who it was that had they had a super sweet jumper. Zion Williamson, of course. Derek Fisher had the Sweet J. I guess this list is just random. It's not alphabetical or nothing.
Okay.
I'm like,
all over the place.
Gail Goodrich is above Zach Randolph, but okay.
Who?
Oh yeah, Sam Perkins had that lefty J.
Come on, Sam Perkins.
That slow ass jumper he used to shoot. Hey man, Sam Perkins really good. He deserved more things because he was the first big man center to be like, man, I'm out here by this 3-point line. Y'all holler at me. Y'all need these threes. Oh, Avery Johnson was a lefty. I didn't remember. I remember him being a lefty, but he couldn't shoot. He was bringing the brand down. Oh, Damon Stoudemire. That's what I was thinking about, but more about him in college, not the pros. But Damon Stoudemire, left-handed ass, was sweet. Oh, he used to give people the business in the fucking in the college. Anyway, moving on. He says, hi, Monique and Amanda Seals need to link up and go across the country and doing shows on bridges, and then after the show, they burn the bridges to the ground. It would do numbers. That's a good point. I can see it working. Oh, I think I didn't read the poll for the first episode. Meets expectations. I'm sorry. How would you evaluate your performance at your current job? Below expectation, meets expectations, or above expectations?
I would say meets.
7% below, 43% meets, and 50% above. I hope y'all put that on y'all's evaluation.
You better have in one of them categories.
And the poll for this episode was, have you ever contacted the FCC? Yes or no?
I don't even know how to contact the FCC, baby.
Yeah, I think you can go to their website, but 96% no, 4% yes. For what? I would love to know.
Complain about the news lady?
Yeah.
Because that's normally what I hear about them call the FCC for, talking about the news ladies.
Right. What was y'all calling? Y'all listen to our show and you contact the
FCC?
But I don't know. Maybe they saw something racist. Maybe they had a good reason.
Right. It was like, not on my watch.
Last episode of the week was 3072, Seeing Beyond the Horizon. Appia says, I agree with everything you're saying about politics, and I feel sorry for the people in the U.S. who didn't cause the situation, but have to feel the consequences. Yep, that would be us. Nintendo Switch is all fucked up now.
I'm so hurt about that.
Shoe Booty says, happy birthday, Karen. Aries Queens, unite.
Thank you.
I'm going to need one of y'all international niggas buy me a Switch and mail it to me.
Right?
Just don't tell them what's in there, okay?
Shh.
Take it apart. I'll put it together with a screwdriver when you get here. I don't care.
Ain't that the truth?
I needs that.
I'm looking forward to my Switch.
Daddy needs that. I pay the shipping. Abia says, I found the 25-hour speech inspiring. It's more of a show thing, but this is what can be done right now. It got lots of positive coverage, and it seems very hard to do. Shoe Booty said, oh, wait, did I read this? Happy birthday, Karen. Aries Queens Unite. Okay, my bad. Okay, I did read it. Cool.
But thank you again.
Hustle No Flow left another long comment, but I'm gonna read this one. Okay, that mansplaining one we already had covered that. Hustle No Flow says, I felt good watching the last hours of Booker's speech. People are so quick to say that this or that won't do anything, and I'm starting to think that they tell themselves that so they don't have to do anything, since it won't matter anyway. You've been right to keep pointing out that it's weird the way the Dems supposedly can't do anything right, yet people feel it when the things get undone. It's not just the party messaging, but if the people don't show enthusiasm for the incremental wins, they strip the politicians of the impetus to go further. Right. Obama got what he could with the ACA, but there was always hope that it could go even further. And then he flat out told us, the citizens, that if we wanted things to happen, we need to organize and give him the mandate. Instead, we want to sit back and complain that they aren't doing anything.
Right. That's what kills me. Get off your ass. Quit complaining.
Yeah, a bar that he has that it's been dismissed by the cynicism of the internet, but it's a bar, is don't boo, vote. It's 100% how I live my life. You should go vote. Just booing and staying your ass home means nothing to me. And you deserve what you get when you do that.
Yes, you do.
Like the idea that that's truly what entitlement is. I shouldn't even have to do the most minuscule thing, which is voting.
Bare minimum.
I shouldn't even have to do that to be taken care of by you people that I refuse to support in any way. Suck my dick, and now we're here. Meanwhile, the other side is giving mandates left and right. They're showing up at school board meetings on CRT. They're calling in about DEI. They're running for and winning local positions to set the agenda. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they might be about to steal our judge vote in North Carolina. They might be about to steal it. And it's all because they don't sit back and just boo. They go vote. And then they use their power corruptly to just steal shit. They just don't give a fuck. So, you know, it's hard to look at your fellow citizens and just say like, oh, they're both kind of the same. But man, we're playing a rigged game and nobody wants to admit that it's rigged.
Right. And maybe it's just me, and maybe because of the election and all the things I see now, it irritates me when people have casual conversations and they talk about the Republicans and agree with the shit that they do is fucked up, and then turn around and say, well, the Democrats are the same on both sides. No, bitch, it's not the same. They actually do not do the same things, but people do that to justify the bullshit of actually not participating. Like people use that as an excuse to actually, I have to shit. No, you don't. Nobody says that they're perfect, but at the same time, they're not doing that shit.
Strategists have been on shows recently pointing out that you don't blame the voters or lack of interest in politicians, or blame the voters, the customers, for lack of interest in politicians, the product. I think that analogy is super flawed, since in this case you're going to get one or the other, so why let them give you the worst product? Yeah, that comment right there, that is so commonplace. Once again, these are the things I'm questioning, not even questioning, to be honest, I'm past questioning. These are the things that I'm cynical about coming out the election. It's the accepted framework of the process that I say I don't believe anymore. I don't believe people are voting against their best interest. I think people believe these things
and they wanted it.
I don't think people need to have a conversation. I think people have their minds made up and they're not being assuaging them and you know, like patting them on the head and telling them it's okay that you hate Mexicans and blacks and gays is not changing minds. These people then they pat themselves on the back for sitting at the table, and then they go off and they believe exactly what they believe. I've never seen a single guest mind changed by Bill Maher, not once. He's just going to bring that person back and they're going to have the same opinions they had the last time they talked to Bill Maher, right? And he's been doing it for 20 years. Like, none of us is like, you know what, Bill Maher really changed such and such. Andrew Sullivan was a totally different guy back then. No, they so anyway, point is, we're not seeing those type of things. The idea of, well, whenever they do decide to vote Democrat, it's because white people and conservatives are learning a lesson and swing voters have learned a lesson. No, they're not. They're going to swing back the second that they get comfortable. The second the economy is good, they're going to go back to hating a bunch of people that aren't white people. Yep. And they're going to vote that way. I didn't vote for this people. Yes, you did. Why didn't Democrats say this? They did. We have proof of it. These are things I'm just not allowing people to get away with. It's why I'm not interested in political conversations with other people. We're not bringing anyone on our podcast to debate. I'm not going on other people's podcasts to debate. Nope. And what I see is that this shit is so ingrained and intrinsic to white supremacy that even your good white people, good black people, good whatever people, in order to go on these TV shows, they have to accept a certain type of mentality and worldview. And so they're already going on there being like, yeah, right, didn't the Democrats not do enough? As opposed to, no, I knew to vote that way. I had the information that you had. Even if I had misgivings, I knew better than to be like, let's let a bigot be in charge.
Agreed.
So why would I come here and make excuses for people that felt differently? No, there is no excuse for this.
And I don't want to hear it.
But yeah, why are so many people letting citizens out the? Oh, and then the last thing I was gonna say is that is 100% what happens when you capitulate completely into capitalism, because the government is not a business, and many Democrats will tell you that. Many Democrat strategists would tell you that. Many politicians would tell you that. They say the government should not be run like a business, and it is not a business.
Right.
But when they talk about running for a political position, what are they? Then all of a sudden they start using sales terms. Oh, the voters are the customers. The customer's always right. Wait a minute. What? I thought you said this is not a business and you're not running a business. Right? Now, but now it's back to being a business, right? The politician, the product. You can't blame them for not liking the product. Yes, the fuck you can.
Yes, you can.
That's like saying when they were calling Jackie Robinson slurs and booing him during the baseball game, customers always right. I guess we don't need blacks in the MLB. Sometimes you just supposed to do the right shit because it's the right shit to do.
Right.
And it's like, yeah, some people won't like it, but guess what? They're not right. And we need to stop acting like that makes them right, because there's a lot of them. That's not enough. And it's not even like it's a majority of them. It's a lot of them. So the real truth is it's a lot of them and they're the right color.
Agreed.
So it's like, oh, there's a lot of angry white people, then the country needs to go in the direction they want it to go. Because the rest of us don't, we're not white, and our anger doesn't count as much.
Yeah, we're not the right customers, because we talk about customers, bitch, I'm not satisfied either, and I have some complaints, but
Right.
Me as a customer, my motherfucking feelings and how I feel about the shit don't matter.
But yeah, why are so many people letting citizens out the hood? Because they don't want them to feel bad or something? You two are telling it like it is. The country got what it voted for, chose to let others vote for. People in the hood complain that officials only come around when they want to vote. Well, we're supposed to be going to their town halls and hearings and calling their offices and doing all of the steps to hold them accountable. Yeah, and what's funny is almost everybody that does that, that says that, are people that aren't politically involved.
Agreed.
They only come around when, no, you don't. They come around other times you don't give a fuck. They holding town halls all the time.
Yes, they are.
And when they do that, they're coming to you. You're not going to them.
Yeah,
the town halls in your community.
Yes, it is.
At
the library, at the centers. Yes, it is.
L. Joy Williams doesn't live 27 cities away from her borough. She's right there. She's there. You're not there. And then you're like, they only come around every 4 years. Like, no, that's not true. You only care every 4 years. Anyway, hopefully a strategist will emerge that starts convincing progressives, I won't limit this to our community, to one, start celebrating small wins so we can build some momentum, two, stay engaged, press the leaders, and get results. Yeah, I don't know what it's going to take, but my guess is it's going to take some level of weirdo stand culture, celebrity bullshit politician. And I don't even mean that to be derogatory towards whoever that individual is going to end up being, but I really feel like that our country's stupid enough that it's going to take somebody being basically a celebrity. Like, it's going to take like when Obama was running, everybody just thought he was basically the coolest nigga on the planet.
Yep, he was a celebrity.
And now everybody's mad at him because he had to go do his job and be a politician to the whole country. It's going to take that. It's going to take these dummies being like, I just like the way she look and behave, and did you see that dance she did? That's why I didn't get mad when Jasmine was doing that TikTok shit. That might be what worked. I don't know.
Right, and also particularly with Obama, you brought up a good point. Obama talking about his celebrityism. And this is why, I'll just aside, nobody listened to what the fuck he said.
Yeah.
Because he did what he said he was going to do, and a lot of niggas was highly disappointed. It was like, well, this is what he said. Did you even listen to him, or were you just looking at the shiny ass nigga and was like, I'll vote for you? Listen to what the man said. That's why you wouldn't be disappointed.
Yeah, we might need that, though. We might need just a different type of person on our side that can influence these dummies into some superficial, surface level shit. Sean says, it's nice to see the filibuster used for good for a change. For too long, it has basically been a tool of preventing equality and fair treatment under the law. Seeing Booker turn that history on his head and overturn Thurman's racist record that preceded it. And then I think he got cut off because it's just comma. But yeah, I'm with you. Biggie Bear Pettit says, a couple quick points. Rod, as usual, you were right. The lefties are calling Booker's filibuster performative. They want action, but not that action, and I can't tell you what type of action.
Right.
I have a friend.
Never have no solutions.
I have a friend who I used to respect before all of this, and now I just see him as sorry. He absolutely wouldn't vote for Kamala, then went silent after shit started hitting the fan, and is now moving the goalposts again. It's the Dems' fault, and they're imploding his plan, blah, 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 bullshit. Next, happy birthday, Karen. You have the brightest soul in podcasting. Thank you. Never change. Also, so happy you're watching Solo Leveling. So far, it's the best anime of 2025.
I 100% agree. Like, you know, and we have watched some great intimacy. I think some of our animes ended in 2024, but we have watched some really great anime. I watch a lot of anime, but man, Solo Leveling is up there.
You should also check out the Apothecary Diaries.
That's on my list. I haven't had that. Got to that one yet.
Shangri-La Frontier.
I started that one. I actually started that one. That one right there is, if you love video games, that one's good.
Wisteria Wand and Sword and Wisteria Wand and Sword.
I started that one.
And Reincarnated as an Aristocrat.
I finished that one, if it's the right one.
I think you'll enjoy all of these if you haven't seen them. Oh, my bad. Also, Kaiju number 8 second season starts later this year. Yeah, I watched Kaiju number 8.
Yeah, I haven't watched that one. Right? Yeah, I need to watch that one. Roger says it's really, really good. And Dan to Dan. Because, those are on my list, too. I'm going to sit down and actually just.
And low-key, this new Devil May Cry is a beast.
Yeah, that's what you're saying. Yeah, I need to sit down.
I really like this Devil May Cry. The music is kind of corny, but you know, in a good way, like not a bad way. Yeah, we're doing the Nerd Off later on tonight, at 7 p.m. I sent the email out to all the premium people, so you know, hopefully if you're listening to this, you've either heard the Nerd Off or you were at the live Nerd Off Crowdcast that we do with the audience.
I'm looking
hopefully
forward to
our
that.
guests showed up for it tonight. We got a couple people coming, so it's gonna be a fun time.
Yes, it is.
EVE says, happy birthday, Karen. I hope your special day was amazing. The thing that pisses me off about Cory Booker filibuster is all the progressive who probably sat this one out or voted for Stein have been screaming, do something did the past 3 months, and now someone has done something. They're calling it performative. Fuck every last one of those people. Fuck them, fuck their parents, fuck their kids, fuck their pets. Yep, agreed. Let's see, YouTube, we got any comments on this one? 6 comments. All right, let's see what we got. EMK says, is that why I hate musicals? And Karen, you are adorable. Good job, Rod. You two are wonderful to each other. Lastly, fantastic episode. I hope shows like Pod Save America watch you guys. Your perspective is everything right now. If anyone asks me anyways. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. I don't know, man. I mean, I kind of do wish we had a bigger impact, bigger bubble, but honestly, man, like the shit that comes with those bigger bubbles and the pushback and the notoriety and the amount of people that want to yell at you and harass you, it
ain't simple.
I don't want to deal with that. But I do wish, I don't know, the ripples of I just wish somebody would stand up and fight for democracy and Democrats, the party.
Right.
I don't think we should be ashamed of that.
No.
I don't think the efforts that they're doing are bad.
Right.
I don't think they just don't want it enough. I think we say those things to make ourselves feel bigger and better.
Yes.
But I don't think those things are true. And I think it would be nice to have a side that was as fervently charged up about doing good. What are the initiatives they're passing that I'm like, they're doing a bad thing? What, healthcare? The reducing the price of drugs? Even when people are like, well, you know, these billionaires donate and cozy up to them. Right. But you know who they cozy up to and then get everything they want? Republicans. You know who they give more money to? Republicans. Because that's who they want to win. Why we're just putting shit in their hands, I don't understand.
Yeah, and also for me, a lot of that has to do. People say a lot of those things about the Democrats because they don't want to hold the voters accountable. Because it's something about, not trying to be funny, if you go to a certain stratosphere and, like you said, those big bubbles, guess what? Guess who they don't criticize? The voting populace. Like hold the voting populace accountable for their actions, because there's certain things that the masses just will not accept, and they won't accept you telling them, hey, we don't agree with y'all, or hey, the Democrats are actually doing something good, y'all give them credit. You sour grapes everything, and then something good happens, you act like the good shit don't matter, because the small wins count as much as the big wins, because the small wins come, you dismiss them. A large win comes, you act like that shit don't matter either.
I just wish we had heart. And I'm not talking about the politicians. I think that if the people had heart, the politicians would show up with more heart. I don't think it's a relation. They're waiting on these politicians to like inspire and lead them, and I just think that's a mistake. I think you should be looking at, you should already be charged up and inspired. What the fuck else y'all need to see? Like, what are y'all waiting on? I don't understand what people are waiting on. Like, I think that's what I mean when I'm like, for me, I don't need to see Cory Booker give that filibuster. I knew Cory Booker was a good dude years ago. Like, this is not like, I don't need him to prove it to me through a speech in a time where he doesn't have any power. I liked it. I would have liked to see what Democrats would do with a real majority.
A real majority.
Like a consistent one, not one that's fraught and in peril, not
one dependent on the two people.
Yeah, not where we need Joe Manchin. If we were the country we say we were, Democrats would always have 70 seats in the Senate and 2/3 majority in the House. If we were the country we say we are, we're just not that country.
Agreed.
And a big part of the reason we're not that country is because citizens ain't those people. Shixby said, I was cracking up during the guest array story about the lady Quartermain. Y'all clearly didn't grow up being forced to watch General Hospital, because that name would have made anyone who had to watch TV with Granny pop up. Alicia says, happy belated birthday, Queen Karen. Honestly, Rod, those are the best kinds of gifts. I've dated men that bought me expensive and nice things that the typical woman would probably like, but I didn't care for them. I was grateful for the gift, but they didn't even get used because they weren't from me. One guy from New York bought me a fur coat. Nigga, I'm in Georgia. Where I'm gonna wear this to?
It's too hot.
Anyway, I'll take a $20 meaningful and well thought out gift over anything else. Yeah, thank you, Alicia. That's the thing, man. Everybody's relationship is for them, and it's y'all's business, and we share part of that because we do a show together, and y'all are privy to some of the stuff. But in general, like, I'm not taking her to the pizza restaurant so that other people will be happy seeing me take her to the pizza restaurant.
No.
I'm taking her to the pizza restaurant because she'll be happy at the pizza restaurant.
And I was.
Everybody can leave snarky comments on social media about how it's not really pizza. Well, Karen liked it, so
I did. It was delicious.
I can't take back that. Like, it's not your birthday. You know what you were eating? Not what the fuck I paid for it, because it's not your birthday, and I'm not taking your ass out. So how about that? CBJ Morgan says, you two are just too cute. Thank you for being you and gracing us with your commentary. Thank you.
Thank you.
Tiffany says, hi, Rod and Karen. Love your show. I'm coming to you by way of Amazing Karen Hunter show to your amazing show, and I'm also a nice person. Winky face. Immediately upon hearing your voices, my daughter yells out, yay, our friends are on. Forever a fan.
Oh, shout out to Karen Hunter.
Yeah, and shout out to your daughter. Okay, I like that. Our friends are on. Congrats to the Hornets for the win. Thank you. They're very rare these days.
Yeah. They are very, very rare. So when we win, I'm like, shit, we won.
Few and far between. Jason says, I went to a baseball game once where apparently the umpire must have had plans after the game. Everything was a strike.
Everything.
If it was inside the ballpark, it was in the strike zone. It was the quickest and most fun game I ever saw. Shout out to Cory Booker. That was truly amazing. Even more amazing was it forced the media to say one good thing about a Democrat, right? Crazy. All you got to do is break the record of standing 25 hours straight with no pee breaks, and they'll finally say, like, you know what? I think they did a good job today. Luckily, he gave them 25 hours to brace themselves. As we know, when it comes to Dems, the exceptional becomes the expectation. So it can wait. So I can't wait to see what kind of American Ninja Warrior course the people will require for nomination in 2028. Right. That's the thing. He did that. And then it just becomes, how come every Democrat ain't doing it? I'm like, I fucking hate y'all people.
Yes.
I legitimately don't want to sit at y'all's table. Take me out of the group chat. I don't like this.
Don't invite me to this party no more.
As angry as you think you are at Democrats, I'm that angry at you.
Yes, I'm angry at you.
And I'm holding it back because I'm saying, let me just stay out of these discussions. Because I find what they're saying so irrational and unreasonable. And it just keeps letting everyone off the hook. As long as you're focused on the Democrats, the country's being fucking robbed and you're looking the other way. That's how it feels. Anyway. Poe, did you find Cory Booker's filibuster inspiring? 82% yes, 18% no. And I don't even blame you either way on that. Because I totally can. I would say that I found it, I don't even know the right word to put it. Because I can't call it inspiring because I recognize that it's a gesture, and I'm so past gestures at this point. I just think if we're not winning, if we're not in power, if we're not able to affect legislation and change, then I'm like, I'm proud of him in that way. I don't want people to think I'm denigrating what he's doing. I'm very proud of what he did.
Continue to do those things.
I love that he did it.
Agreed.
But I think the fact that it ultimately it can't do the things I would like to see done. It means less to me. It's more like I'm happy other people feel inspired, and I hope they continue to do that, because my inspiration at this point is a self-fueling furnace. I don't need the antics. I don't need the performative gestures. I don't need the theater of it. I don't need it. But some people do, and I recognize that. And it's not germane to Cory Booker. It's the same thing when Jasmine Crockett's doing a dance, or there's a video of her like going in on some I don't really need her to do that. But some people might. And so maybe they'll feel inspired. And if 80% of the people in our community that listen to our show felt inspired, then I say job well done, Cory. Like, thank you for doing that, because I don't need everything to be for me.
Agreed. And like you say, it took me a while, but I had to learn that I am built differently, and I had to learn that some people need the theater of it all. Like they need the dramatic shit. They need the up and down. They need the nail biting. Like they need that in their political lives. I don't. I am result oriented. What are the results? Can you get shit done? Do we have the numbers? Like, that shit means more to me than this other shit does. Like, none of that shit matters if you fucking lose. It does not matter. Because I want the people in power, and I want them to put them in a position where they can do the shit that you claim you want. And then you could put a mandate, and then you could demand that they do the shit. And when they don't do the shit, you motherfucking vote them out of office. That's how I feel. Everything else is a waste of my goddamn time to me. I don't need any of it. And I understand some people do. That's why I'm like, hey, their jobs are hard, because their jobs is to reach all the voting populace and not just me. So yes, do all these things and sing and dance and tap dance and do all that stuff, because I know that satisfies some people. It don't satisfy me.
All right, that's it for the comments and the polls and stuff. Let's get to our voicemails, but first we gotta play some music, because we gotta get this money. Let's see, pick a random one here.
Psycho music.
one's called Good Life. I like that. All right, let's go to the voicemails. We got 2 people that called.
Hi, Karen. Hi, Rod. This is O'Neill in Chicago. I'll keep it quick. I know that one person asked for a reading list from you, and then a couple of other people suggested a book review show from you guys. And I mean this in the most humble way possible. I love everything about your show. Don't change a thing. Don't change a thing. But I just wanted to suggest, possibly, maybe an Amazon storefront. I'm not sure everything that goes into that, but maybe a storefront that you can plug all the books and also earn commission when we purchase them. I, for one, have bought a couple of books that you and Karen have suggested. So I thought that this might be a great way to consolidate a reading list and also a great way to earn commission. Love you guys. Thank you. Bye.
All right, thank you. We'll look into that. I don't know how it works, but I'll get Karen on it. She'll look into it. We'll see what it entails. And,
and what all you have to do, because that right there would be interesting. That way, if you go, you can just go in like all the things that
Yeah, if it makes it less work, anything that's not a lot of work, I don't mind. Once it gets to like I got to do a book club every month, I'm not gonna keep that shit up.
No, that's hard.
And I don't. And honestly, like I read a lot of times, pretty much every time, I read for my own edification, and so I have to be very careful with entertainment versus content in my life, right? Because
it has to be a balance.
I treat when I am making content out of entertainment, I treat that so much differently than when I'm just watching something.
Right.
Like I know, like I listen to other podcasters and stuff, and I appreciate them. I listen to people that cover stuff. I don't feel like they cover it as detailed and as well as we do when we do that stuff.
They don't.
And sometimes I literally can take hours and hours to work on something so that when we bring it to the show, I don't want it to feel like it took hours, but it did. And when people are listening, they're just like, oh wow, this is really detailed. I whenever someone suggests like, hey, this thing with books or whatever, I'm always like, is this gonna be like is this gonna turn into work? Am I gonna be reading the book and be like, let me stop, I need to actively put this down on my list and need to, so this sounds like a very easy haul, and not a lot of extra work. I'm already getting them off of Kindle anyway, so I get all my books off of Amazon for the most part anyway. Right. So, I think this, if it's doable, we will look into it and we'll bring it up on the show. All right, one more person left voicemail. The first one looks like it might be blank. Yeah, it's a blank voicemail. So they left another one afterwards.
Hi, Rod and Karen. It's Olivia in Japan. I don't know what's going on with Skype. I should start off by saying that this is probably the last time I'm going to be able to call y'all because they are getting rid of Skype in May. But I had called in January and left a message and then immediately updated my 5-star review. But I must be living in some sort of parallel universe because I don't think y'all got either of them. So hopefully you will get this. I just wanted to say thank you to you two for giving me the giggles as I'm getting ready for work, because I'm listening to the episode where y'all are talking about Mark Morrison and the incident that he had in Miami, and I swear, like, the puns are killing me. And every time y'all make a joke, I start singing along. Like, I'm sitting in the booth with y'all, like, oh, come on, hooray. It's killing me. Once again, I love y'all. I hope I'll find some way to call y'all at some point. They don't have Google Voice in Japan, so but maybe I'll have to start writing emails instead. Anyways, love you guys.
Oh man, yeah, I didn't realize they don't have Google Voice everywhere.
Me either.
Huh.
So I guess
Skype. Well, anyway, we'll see what we can do. I don't know. But yeah, maybe email in. That's fine. Yeah, we appreciate you, and yeah, thank you. Man, all the way from Japan. Sometimes it's just, I can't believe our podcast has got listeners that, are all overseas, over the place like this, because I think Sean's in Japan too. Like, I don't know, man. So cool. All right, the last thing, of course, is the actual emails. Once again, I'll play a beat and then we'll come back from this. Here we go. All right. Keeping it simple, Jermaine says, Rod and Karen, it's been a hot minute since I sent you anything. I love your content. It's fresh and engaging. Being active duty, I've missed months worth of podcasts, which is a win for me because I can listen to a podcast every day for the next year and still not run out. 2 comments.
Nigga, we've been working then. I didn't realize. I know we've been working, but when you say it like that, I'm like, well, goddamn.
Yeah, I know I've been working, so I know. Okay. I don't need to be reminded. I know I'm putting in this work. I forgot what it's almost like one of us just shows up. You know what I'm saying? They just get to say whatever they say and then go away, and then the other person puts everything else up.
Because we know who the real talent is.
I know. Talent don't gotta do all this. I forgot what podcast it was, Rod, but you're a self-proclaimed day 2 with Kendrick. Thank you for putting me on. Call me a day 3. I remember back in 2012 while driving the base, I was listening to your podcast as always. You put on some song, good God. The lyrics were tight, the beat was fire. I said, who is this? I had to go through the show notes and found out it was Spiteful Chant by some guy named Kendrick Lamar. I was thinking, I don't know who this indie artist is, but I'll keep a lookout for him. I've been on ever since. Thank you, my friend.
Come on, Spiteful Chant. Now I really think that got to be one of my favorite songs.
Yeah.
From Kendrick. Just the chorus. I could just sing that all day long. I love that damn song.
I'm still upset because they can't put that on any album or streaming service because the person who they sampled was like, nah. And I mean, look, it's their right. It's their music. You're an artist. You should be able to do whatever you want to. But man, I really need to know the decision making, because if I'm sitting in a room and any part of my work is featured in Spiteful Chant, and they like, do we have your permission? The answer is yes.
Right.
Because that shit is hard. Okay? That might be the best song on that album. And that's an album full of bangers. But that, I'll never forget the first, I used to be in my, it's a job I got laid off from, and I'd be in my fucking cubicle, and that fucking horn would start, and I'm just like,
too many
oh my
niggas
God.
And not enough hoes.
And some of you niggas acting like hoes, like hoes, like hoes, like hoes, like hoes.
Yeah.
You're acting like a hoe.
You're acting like a hoe. That's my motherfucking jam.
Yeah, I mean, he was just flowing.
Flawlessly.
I'm going in.
Suck my dick.
Too many niggas in none of the. Anyway, all right. Karen, just heard you talk about Starbucks on banter. The white chocolate mocha is the go-to. Straight fire.
It was really good. It sounded sweet. So I said, oh, that's right up my alley. And the thing is, she was like, hot or cold? I froze because I didn't know I didn't know it had so many options. But I'm glad I got hot.
Also, if you like sweets, wait until the holidays and ask for the cranberry bliss bar. I swear they sprinkle crack on those things. People can call me basic bro, but the white chocolate mocha is sweet and delicious. I gotta try that. I think I did try that. It was good. As a kid from the 336 family in the area, 828-252-910 and 919, I don't know them new codes. Y'all keep doing your thing. Jay. Thank you, Jay.
I don't know them new codes either, and I live here.
Don writes in, bigger bubbles. Hey, Rod. Hey, Karen. Forgive me. I'm behind. I fell into a deep, dark depression with the way the world is. Girl, same.
Hey.
But I'm pulling out my inner Rod and started getting out and exercising, letting my inner Karen out, saying what I feel and meaning what I feel. Yes, I love to see it. Anyway, this is the first episode I listened to in a while. Let me tell you, I had to stop what I was doing because I was laughing so hard. Ooh, bigger bubbles. We got a lot of feedback about bigger bubbles. People love this episode. Like JL Covan texted me to be like, this is a great episode. And he doesn't text me every time. So that means something.
Yeah, it does.
Karen, baby,
Yes.
I had the same experience in the DMV. Had zero idea how to use the vision test goggles. Pretty much put my nose where the eyes were. The worst of it was a driver's license renewal, and I could not see. I failed the test. And being there for some time, it was game over. Turns out, glasses. Who knew you could see the speed limit sign before you passed it? I'm telling you, life changing. Thank you for keeping us laughing. You guys are the best, Dawn.
That's hilarious. I'm glad everybody had jokes for me, but I'm glad I'm not the only. It's two of us, the only two.
Right. I was gonna say this is bad. It's been
Now
over a month.
Alone.
It's been a month and only one other person on the earth has experienced this shit. That's still bad.
Have better instructions.
You have not been acquitted. You just got a co-defendant now. That's all that means.
Child, I know that lady, her coworkers probably still cracking up about me in the break room. I'm gonna be that joke for years.
You had your glasses on, you would have been able to see they were nose holes.
I probably would have.
All right, let's get to the final thing. Last email. Steph G says, performative email. Hey y'all, heard y'all talking about Cory Booker, and I too thought it was great that he stood up there for a whole damn day talking about various things pertaining to what Trump was doing, and of course erasing the record that racist man had for the longest filibuster. But of course now it's, oh, he wasn't filibustering anything, what was the point? It's all for performative. I expected that because, of course, people have something to complain about, and since they aren't going to complain about Trump, mind you, there's nothing to filibuster currently because Mike Johnson sent them on break because he wasn't getting the numbers he wanted from the pubs. There's a tiny rebellion happening currently on that side. People complain about everything. Do something. No, not that. You gave them no power. What do you expect? Laugh my ass off. Cory Booker, Jasmine Crockett performative, but not AOC or Bernie? Okay. Maybe I should be like Chappell Roan, start saying how I'm too busy to care now after the election is done. Yeah, that's the whitest white people news of all time. This broad pronounced Kamala's name wrong and called her Kamala. Did a whole like, what aren't you getting? I didn't know
and
that
then had
shit.
that breakdown, but she wouldn't go on the shows.
Right, and now she's I'm a pop star. Maybe we shouldn't even be talking about politics. Oh, now that the Republicans are in charge and your audience is on the firing lines because most of your audience is queer,
right,
and inclusive,
the people that support you.
Now it's time to tap out. Sure, that sounds about right. Shaking my head. Never mind. That was her uncle. Never mind that her uncle is a representative in Missouri, drafting anti-abortion bills and anti-trans bills. Now the kitchen is too hot and it's exhausting keeping up. LOL. I should try that. People are still saying we should go out there and do that. Still regurgitating theory written by others who have done so much. Meanwhile, they were behind the screen telling us not to vote. Fuck out of here. P.S. I just had a thought. I really think Bernie Sanders made his followers apathetic. He made them think things couldn't get worse because they were already low, made them think they had to burn everything and that nothing was worth persevering. I think he disarmed them from seeing Trump as dangerous. Yeah, that's a good point. I do think that happened to some extent. I don't know if it's everybody, I think, but I do think there's a certain type of Bernie person that went with like, how much worse can it be? Democrats ain't shit either, and now we're finding out it can be a lot worse. Mm-hmm. Sorry this is long, but nobody wants to admit they made a mistake. Thanks for reading, Steph.
No, they do not.
Yeah, thank you for writing in. That's it for today's show. We appreciate y'all. We'll be back throughout the week. Until next time, I love you.
I love you too.
Mwah. Bye, everybody. Y'all have a good rest of the day. Peace.